Avoiding a major outage or a redeploy of your managed instance by paying attention to these most common misconfigurations on today's Tales from the Field.
Everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
If this is your first time finding us here on Tales from the Field, give us a like, give us a subscribe. If this is your first time here, my friend, welcome. Come on in, let's have a cup of tea. For all those loyal subscribers to the channel, we're really enjoying the chatter in the comments of the videos. Keep them coming. It's really driving us and keeping our content, keeping our brains spinning. Speaking of content, we drop content on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. On Tuesdays, we have our weekly roundtable where we share with you blogs, videos, posts, anything that's inspired us throughout the week, put together by you, the MVPs of the Azure Data community for the Azure Data community. And then on Mondays and Wednesdays, we like to do these things we call MS Tech Bits, where we put together videos of some of these blogs that have inspired us. You're watching one of those now. Let's get over to it. All right, my friends, you can see here on the screen, I have a Create Azure SQL Managed Instance up. My intention today isn't to actually deploy a Azure SQL Managed Instance, but to show you some key configurations that you're going to want to consider when setting one up or deploying your managed instance. Otherwise, you could have a bad day, right? You may need to take a long outage to change, or you may need to redeploy. Here on the basic screen, we're not going to change much because you can change these things after deployment. That's the beauty of it. But one thing you want to note is you can't change your managed instance name post-deployment. Let's talk about, I don't think I have a career in TLC, but let's talk about virtual networks and subnets. A managed instance needs a minimum of 32 IPs within a subnet. So dependent upon how many managed instances you have deployed to that subnet, you're going to need more IPs. You're going to need a larger subnet range. So there was some example there on the screen as how to compute that. I'm going to place these blog posts here that I'm showing within the description of the video, as these posts by Hovan provide details on how to properly configure your subnet. Also note, only managed instances can be deployed to this subnet. No other services can use IPs from this subnet. All right, in security, we're not going to touch anything here. These can all be changed after the fact, but make sure you come in and look at your Microsoft Defender and your transparent data encryption. All right, additional settings. We have collation. This is the rules that we sort and compare our data. Certain applications have certain rules or would require a different collation. Make sure you come in here and choose the right one for your application. Doing planning up front, right? Making sure that our collation is correct. This can't be changed after the fact. If you need to change this, it's going to be a redeploy. If your application is written in such a way that it requires a particular time zone, this is one of the huge benefits of managed instance as a PaaS service. We can change our time zone here. Let's pretend, for example, that my code is written that it requires the Eastern time zone. I could go ahead here and set that, and then our managed instance is going to be located in that Eastern time zone. Okay, Geo-Replication. We're putting on our BCDR hat here. We're creating a failover group. One of the very important key requirements is that our managed instance, our secondary managed instance, needs to be part of the same DNS zone that our primary managed instance is located in. Here you can see I chose my data primary MI. That is the DNS zone. That value there is the DNS zone. And when we deploy our secondary managed instance here, which would be this one in this case, it would be placed within the DNS zone. Also, I'd like to note that these three items are all a requirement. The collation, the time zone, and the DNS zone, they need to be matched or correct during the deployment of this managed instance. Otherwise, it's a redeploy, right? So there we have it. Some of the most common missed configurations of a managed instance that cause folks to either take a severe outage or have a really bad day because they need to redeploy. All right, there we have it. I don't want you to have a bad day. I want you to be doing things that you enjoy, like playing with the data, writing T-SQL, writing Power BI reports if that's your thing, right? or even playing with Fabric. So today what we looked at was some of the most common configuration items I see folks miss or not think about ahead of time. Our subnet, right? We need to have the right number of IPs to support our managed instances. Our collation, the way we sort and query our data, right? That needs to be correct. Our time zone, if we need to switch that to match our application code, and making sure that we have our DNS zone configured correctly if we're going to have this as a secondary to a primary managed instance. And we met 3 of the requirements there, right, by proper planning for our failover group. I hope you had a good time with this one. I really did. I know I said bad day a lot, but I want you to have a good day. You know where we like to keep this going. Down below in the comments, let us know what you think. Let us know what you'd like to see. And always, have a good day.
Wake up.